What's going on, YouTube? Gents here, and you're listening to the Not Entertained Weekly Not. These are my quick reactions to the entertainment news of the week. Links to the in-depth articles will be posted in the description below. As always, be sure to subscribe to the channel and follow us on Twitter and Spotify. For the week of May 10th, let's start off with some movie news. First up, I don't know if you guys remember, there was this game called Saints Row. Looked a little familiar to Grand Theft Auto, but they went off the deep end if Grand Theft Auto never took itself seriously. There's been a bunch of games that have come out. It's been a few years since the last game came out in the entry series, but apparently it's still popular enough that they're going to make a Saints Row movie. I think the only way to do this properly for this series would be to make it rated X, but I don't think they're going to do that at all. How far they can push the rated R rating is going to be up for debate. We see how far it's been pushed with Deadpool. I don't know if there's a room to push it beyond that, but that would probably be the model that they're going to chase after. I don't know if it'll be good. I don't know if I'll see it, but it's interesting nonetheless. Next up, we got the first movie teaser for the next It movie. Continuing the events from the first film, the first remake of the film, but now the kids are much older and they're returning back to their hometown and Pennywise starts to resurface. This looks pretty good. The first movie for me was not like a must-see, and it wasn't the best thing ever, but it was it was entertaining enough for me to watch it, and I didn't regret my experience watching it. So I'm definitely going to check out this sequel to it. I think what will make this one a lot different is that the kids are older now, so a lot of the scares or things that they were fearful of as kids probably aren't going to work anymore. So we'll see newer fears and insecurities resurface as now they're adults, and you know, obviously there's probably still some trauma there from the events that carried out when they were children. So I'm curious. I want to see the teaser trailer looked pretty good in my opinion, so I'll probably check this out when it hits theaters. Next up, Chadwick Boseman is making some headlines. He'll be playing a new film coming up following the story of a man named Yusuke, the first African American samurai in Japan. It sounds interesting. I was a big fan of the anime, if anybody remembers, Afro Samurai, so I know this will be completely different from that, but it seems like a different take on The Last Samurai by Tom Cruise. So there's obviously going to be a lot of cultural clashes, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of slavery and racism and all that good stuff. Chadwick, to me, he's very it really depends on his role. Like he can be spot on for the role, or he can just kind of be mediocre for the role. Very few times have I seen him like completely execute and kill a role. I'm not hating on him, that's just my little critique of him that I've noticed so far. Not gonna hold anything against him, but I think this could be something good for him. Hopefully it all works out. All right, guys, let's get over to Disney. Are you guys starting to get a little weary of mentioning Disney? But they did some announcements this week. So we got a new trailer for the Spider-Man Far From Home, which will also be featuring Mysterio, supposedly as a hero alongside Spider-Man. I don't know if there's time travel involved or parallel universes involved, but we did get to see Nick Fury will be in the film as well. These are obviously taking place after the events of Avengers Endgame, so there's a big spoiler in there that happens at the end of Endgame that influences, or I guess, the overall premise for this movie. So if you haven't seen Endgame yet and you want to see Spider-Man Far From Home, make sure you do that before the summer comes. Don't know how to feel story-wise about this. I still need to see the first Spider-Man Homecoming, but I heard nothing but good things, if that counts for anything. I'll probably be checking this out, so I gotta make sure I watch the first film before I see this one. It looks like a regular schmegular action superhero movie like they've been producing so far, so no reason not to see it, no reason to see it also, I guess, if that makes any sense. But yeah, so Spider-Man. But next up, Disney dropped the bomb on this. All right, not only are we getting 3 more Star Wars films, or I guess we should say another Star Wars trilogy, but we're gonna get 3 more Avatar movies. Yeah, so these movies will carry us from this year until at least 2025 if they don't have more installed or more in store for us planned in the future. These last 3 Star Wars movies that I saw, look, I'll preface by saying I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. For me, and this might just be because of the nostalgia, or, you know, I don't really have any other kind of excuse I can name. I mean, I guess the actors were pretty good, but for me, I thought episode 1 was my favorite. out of the recent ones that came out. I didn't really care for the last three. Some of my friends that are big Star Wars fans, like super big Star Wars fans, they didn't really care for them as much either. I don't know if their tune will change much in leading up to these next three movies, but they were pretty down on these last iterations. And for Avatar, I still haven't seen Avatar. The main reason why I haven't seen Avatar is because when it came out, I just asked them what the movie was about, and what they pretty much told me was it was like an alien version of Pocahontas. And I was like, well, I've seen that story before, so I don't need to see it again. And then that's kind of where things were. But now that movie's ended and now they're going to be adding more to the universe, I'm sure there will be more that will develop outside of just the love story with the alien kind of thing. So I'll keep my eye on it. I think it deserves a chance, seeing as it's, you know, one of the highest grossing movies, and seeing as how popular it was, and now they're getting additional trilogies and sequels or prequels, whoever may come. I guess good news for Disney fans, or good news for Avatar and Star Wars fans, because we're going to be seeing Disney pretty much for the rest of our lives. Moving on to gaming news, we had, well, last night we had the PlayStation State of Play, where we got additional information on Final Fantasy VII. We got some more clips of gameplay. They said that we'll get more information about its release next month in June, but they still won't give us even a glimpse or a window for when it's going to be released. I'm hoping it's before the end of this year. My money is still on this game being a launch title for the PS5, or if not, if it doesn't release on this generation, it'll definitely be, or if it does release on this generation of PS4, it will see an updated version on the PS5 for sure. I don't think there's any way that they don't do that. This is gonna sound offensive, but I've never played a Final Fantasy game before. For me, the closest I ever got was the Kingdom Hearts series, and I'll be upfront and say that Kingdom Hearts 3, as long as I waited for it, I don't feel like it met my expectations. A lot of things that I was looking for with Returns to the Worlds that I enjoyed, and story-wise, and it just got a little all over the place, and it wasn't enough there to make me care as much as I did, 10 years ago, or however long it was. So I always told myself that if I was going to play a Final Fantasy game, it was going to be Final Fantasy VII, just because everybody says, or arguably debates, that Final Fantasy VII is one of the best in the series. And I figured now that they're changing up the mechanics from Final Fantasy VII for the Final Fantasy VII Remake, it's had updated graphics, it's being pushed on PS4, now would be a good time to try it. So I've been holding off, saving myself, I guess you could say, for this remake, but it's been delayed. I'm hoping delays are good things, not bad things, but it's a little too early to say. So hopefully we'll get more information in June, and I'll keep you guys posted. Also, just yesterday, we got news of the newest entry in the Ghost Recon series, Ghost Recon Breakpoint. This will be coming out October 4th. It's a third-person shooter. This time, instead of being the hunter, you are the hunted. John Barenthal, who you may remember from the Punisher series, will be your main antagonist for the video game. It seems to carry on from the events of the recent expansion from Ghost Recon Wildlands, which I did not play because I was not, it didn't look like anything I remembered from Ghost Recon. This new game shows some aspects of it, but I really need to see more. I'm very wary of Ubisoft right now, along with some other companies, and I'm really looking for Splinter Cell. I'm hoping that I'm hoping that they'll test out some of the mechanics in this game, in this Ghost Recon Breakpoint game, to help solidify some ideas and plans that they had for the next Splinter Cell game, if that even is going to be a thing. They said there's no AI teammates in this game. There will be a single player campaign. There will be PvP. PvP I think will be 4v4, and then if you have friends, you can co-op the story, but if you don't, then you'll only be playing by yourself, which I think is a nice touch. I saw that they added some interesting ways to get camouflage and drones and vehicles, so it doesn't look bad. I'll say that much. It doesn't look bad right now, but I don't know if it is giving me the Ghost Recon vibes. I'm still not really synergizing with the direction that they're going at, but they seem to be really excited about it. They said they have a whole development team violently working behind it versus only 30 people that were working on Wildlands. So hopefully that means better fixes and patches going forward. So let's just keep our eyes on this. They'll have more information in August about PvP specifically, but hopefully they'll reveal more gameplay in between now and then. And again, it comes out on October 4th. Next on my list for all you Apex Legends fans, guess what? It's coming to mobile. EA announced during their business recap of sales and their successes and some of their plans going forward. So what they said was that we can expect Apex Legends to move over to mobile, shocker, and that it'll also be seeing a Chinese release sometime soon. So good news for all you people that love that. Lastly, for gaming news, we got a new trailer for a John Wick video game. I'm surprised it's taken this long for a John Wick game to surface, but here we are. It's a strategy game, I guess. That's how they're trying to market it. It's called John Wick Hex. It looks interesting. It kind of reminds me of XCOM, for anybody that's played that, or even Tales of Vesperia. I might be quoting the wrong game there, but it's a pick and choose like cover and then how you want to attack and which enemies you want to attack. It seems like it might be turn-based, but the turns seem really quick. I could be wrong. They haven't showed too much for the game. It looks interesting. I think John Wick definitely deserves his own video game at some point, but I'm just not sure that this is the right format or the right direction that they want to go in for this, so they're going to do it well. Obviously, you have games like Stranglehold with John Woo. You had the Jet Li game from way back when. We had the Max Payne series, you know, all games that I feel like should inspire a proper John Wick game going forward, but we'll see what happens. This game might actually be pretty good. It just seems to me too much of a cash grab. So, you know, the movie's coming out next week. They just dropped a trailer for this game. It'd been one thing if they had been planning this game for a while and then, you know, just so happened to coincide a release on the day of John Wick 3, but it just seems a little too coincidental. It doesn't look all that well developed, in my opinion, but it might be good. I might be eating my words later, but don't forget, again, John Wick 3 comes out May 17th. I'll probably be giving you guys a recap of my reactions to the movie after I see it, but I'll probably wait a little bit so everybody has a chance, and then we'll discuss it at some length. But yeah, good news. Lastly, guys, I just got a couple things for some news in television. First off, CW looks like they're going to continue with their DC series. Now they're going to branch out into Batwoman, who's played by Ruby Rose. They recently debuted her as Batwoman, I believe on Legends, but then also on Arrow. So she's getting, I guess she, you know, tested well, given that she's getting her own series now. They haven't done Batman yet, which is interesting, but I guess, you know, you have the Gotham series going on at the same time, so it seemed a little weird to do Batman on two different networks on Fox and CW, but they decided to go with Batwoman. I can't say I'm the biggest Ruby Rose fan. I can see why they chose her. So I for the most part, I wish the series very well. The CW does a decent job at bringing our DC comic book heroes to life, so I'm sure they'll probably have some rough patches before they get it right, but they're definitely at least one of the networks that I would bring up if I was going to bring a comic book series to a live action television series. So wishing them the best of luck, and shout out to Ruby Rose for landing a role. Last on my list, guys, we got a new teaser for HBO's Watchmen series featuring Rorschach specifically. I'm not like an avid fan of the Watchmen series, but you know, I think everybody kind of generally gravitates towards Rorschach, so I think it's really smart on their part to focus the series on him. It looks pretty good from what I can tell. HBO, you know, very rarely do you hear that an HBO show doesn't deliver. This has a lot of potential. I'm glad Watchmen is kind of resurfacing. It was only a matter of time before they got back into the superhero fray like everybody else is right now. I was hoping it was going to be a relaunching of the Spawn series, but it's Watchmen. I'm not mad at it. I just would have liked Spawn 2, but it looks good. I'm going to be checking it out, guys. Let me know if you're going to check this out as well. All right, guys, that's my recap of the news for this week. Thanks for checking in with us. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and follow us on Twitter and Spotify. Peace.